I think I'm about ready here. Hello, hello, welcome. This is Goheen Municipal up here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. And we're going to be messing around up here VFR style. We're in the Milviz de Havilland DHC-2 Beaver. And we're going to be flying from Goheen with a quick stop at Walter Sutton's airstrip up here, and then on down to Silet's Bay. I hope I'm saying that right. But we'll be kind of skirting the northern and western side of Portland. Right now there is a little bit of air traffic at Portland, which is awesome, because one of the things that I'm really wanting to try tonight is monitoring dual frequencies. Really hoping to be able to be on and to be able to talk on the 2280, the Unicom frequency, as we are traveling, you know, to all these uncontrolled airfields and airspaces. And so it's going to be helpful if we can communicate with other pilots in the area. But I also want to be able to monitor the departure frequency for Portland International, PDX, because I also want to make sure that I'm staying out of the way of any traffic that happens to be taking off or landing there. And so yeah, that's kind of the plan. Now the winds right now, the weather, this is a factor as always. 285 at 5, but nice and clear, so that's good. But that means that everything's going to kind of be in a westerly flow. So what that says to us is landing traffic is not going to be a problem, because they're going to be coming here, they're going to be landing west. But departing traffic is going to be the issue. So as we're swinging it around, we go to Walter Sutton's. We are going to do a full stop there. We're going to follow. This is I don't remember which river this is. We're going to follow this river down here to the Columbia, and then we're going to probably pick up the Woodland airfield, and then over here to Scappoose, down to Hillsboro, and then on our way out the door here. This is Sportsman, I think, and and then we're going to pick up the what the heck is there? The Yamhill River, and this is a little windy guide that goes through here. It's sort of tough to see on the map, but then we'll pick up a pretty major road, and that'll lead us kind of through the mountains. It's sort of a pretty little spot right here, out to the coast, and then down to Silet's Bay State. But when we are going right here, obviously we could potentially have some interaction with departing traffic, and we are not going to be flight following. We're going to try to do this all VFR, or excuse me, yeah, just all VFR without flight following, but we do want to be able to be out of the way of everybody else. So that's the challenge tonight, is to try to make it work in the Milviz Beaver. And so let's just take a quick look at the VATSIM map real quick, as we always do. In the Pacific Northwest, not a lot going on, but we do have Portland and Seattle, which is good because this allows us to test out our dual frequency. Looks like Minneapolis and Toronto are on, as well as Washington Center. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of a quiet Wednesday night, more of a usual Wednesday night in the United States. And then some action down here in the Caribbean. And then again, boy, South America has really, they've had a center frequency on every night while testing out this new, or I shouldn't say testing out anymore, while utilizing the new AVF. And then a little bit of action here, Northern Africa, and even Europe a little bit is active. And then as what's also been the case, I'm surprised the kind of this area here, and Australia has also been a regular with the new servers. So anyhow, quiet, and I think everybody's just maybe resting up. It is across the pond this weekend, and so yeah, I'm sure they're trying to kind of get their ducks in a row as far as that goes. But welcome if you're new to the channel. Come across this later on, we stream on Twitch, we archive on YouTube, and we just try to do something a little different every night, basically. But I tend to be in this plane an awful lot. I do like the backcountry stuff. But let's get enough talking. Let's get this bird in the air. Hit the wobble pump. Get the fuel pressure up a little bit. Gonna hit the primer couple, 2 or 3 times. In addition to being nice clear conditions, it's 61 degrees, so fairly warm out, which is a benefit as well. All right, battery can come on, mags are going to come on. We're going to put the throttle up a crack. We're going to put the mixture lever full forward, and all right, fuel pump can come on, making good fuel pressure. And let's hit the starter. Right. Bring the prop lever full forward, let the engine warm up a little bit, and we'll get everything else going here. Alternator and radios are going to come on. And you can see the manifold pressure coming up. The RPM's coming up just a little bit as well, so things are looking good. 3041, our current altimeter. Very high pressure here, and definitely a reason for the clear skies. 3041. Get that set in there twice. I don't plan on using the autopilot a whole heck of a lot, but we will put in 2,500 just in case we want to set it and have a look around. You like to do that from time to time. And now here we go. Here's the tricky part. And this is the part I messed around with a little bit last night. I want COM 1 and 2. I would like to have 2280 as my frequency. Whoops, what's going on? 22. See if I can find the right click spot there. I want to have 2280 as the frequency that I am listening to, but also transmitting out to. And then I want to have Portland approach 2435 as the frequency that I'm monitoring. Now, so I have to do that, and then I've been told I also have to, oh boy, what did I just do there? Yeah, boy. I don't think I want to do all that. I've been told I need to turn on, and maybe this is what I need to do here, is turn on COM 1. That's now active. COM 2 is also active. Alright, so see what that did to my radio here. So now I'm going to have to mess around with it a little bit and see. And because again, I don't remember the exact combination here. I'm hoping that I've got a friend that has messed around with this a little bit. I'm hoping he'll hop online for a couple of minutes. But the other thing I could try is I could try to pick up the Portland ATIS 2835. Let me move this guy out of the way real fast. 2835. Let's see what happens here. This will give me an idea what I'm listening to and what I am. So right now I'm not picking up any of that. I'm not picking up 2835, and I'm not picking up 2280. I could be just a little too far away from Portland also, I guess. That's a possibility. So here's what I am going to do in the meantime. Alright, let's 2435. We're going to put that back in here. I think this is the way I need to have it. So COM 1 is selected, so I can monitor that, and then according to vPilot, that is the frequency I'm transmitting, and these are the frequencies I'm monitoring. So T is transmit, R is receive. But what I don't know is if Milviz, it appears to me that it does model that, but I guess we're going to have to find out here. And maybe we'll just do a real quick radio check just to see if maybe we're transmitting to Portland approach and we don't know it. Portland approach, November 297 Bravo, radio check. And I don't want to hear back from them. Now if I flip this over, here is where I do want to hear from them. But again, I may be too far away. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's well, I know for Unicom it's a 15-mile radius, but let's just try. Portland approach, November 297 Bravo, radio check. I know last night when I tested this out.
297 Bravo, loud and clear, Humvee.
5x5, thank you, sir. Okay, so that is, so when that guy is there, alright, so I guess what we're going to do is we're going to go back here and we're just going to listen, and because right now there's not a ton of traffic. There's only 4 departures, 2 arrivals, so it may very well be that this is set up correctly right now and we're just not, there's just not traffic to talk to, but we'll start there and we'll mess around with it, and if nothing happens here later on, we'll tweak it. We can tweak it while we're in the air, but until then we better let's get flying here. I'm already 4 minutes past my departure time. Now the Goheen field, by the way, it does have, officially has 2 different runways, 15 and 33, as well as runway 7 and 25, and again our winds were 326 at 4, so we're going to take runway 33, and runway 33 is right in front of us actually. Go right down to the end and turn around, and that's runway 33, so it'll be a short taxi for us, but we'll go ahead and make that call just in case. Goheen traffic, November 297 Bravo, we're taxiing runway 33, Goheen. Make sure I have everything on I need to have on here. I need my I'm going to turn my nav light, beacon light, landing light, pulse light, and I'll turn my instruments on too. It's somewhat late in the day here. I did bump back my time slider just a little bit, just so I had a chance to do this in the daylight. Alright, we're going to pop the brake. Yeah, that looks good. One thing I'll warn you about right now is this airfield and Walter Sutton's, both among the bumpier airfields that I've had the privilege of flying into and out of. But that makes it that much more fun. Alright, so let's get things set here and do our run up. Put this up to 2200. Quick mag check. Left. Small drop. Right. Stays the same. Cycle the props. That looks good. Suctions are all staying good. Alright. And then feather the mixture. I don't know that we're going to get anything more. We're here at sea level, so it really doubt we'll lean. And yeah. Hey, look, we got leaves falling here. That's pretty cool. I forgot that was a part of this airfield. Simulates a little bit of those autumn leaves coming down. Alright, flaps are going to come to takeoff. 5 notches there to get to takeoff, but I think we're ready. So on the outbound here, by the way, we are going to be flying. This is a short first leg. I have for the ATC, I've put all these VFR intersection points in just to give them a rough idea of where we're going. But we really truly, like, we're not going to Hiker. Hiker's right there. We're actually going here to Sutton. I can actually change that. And then, you know, we're not going really to Rourke. We're going a little past it. We're actually going to go to Woodland State. So I'll go ahead and change that. And then again, not Makey, but Scappoose, you know. So anyway, I'm not going to change them all, but all those intersections are essentially very, very close to the major waypoints that we're looking for, the major things that VFR we're going to try to find. So you know, something like about a 25 to 30 degree outbound for about 10 miles will get us into Sutton's private. So that'll be where we start. Let's go ahead. We'll set this guy here to about 30. Again, we're going to probably hand fly it most of the way, but you know, it's good to have that just in case. All right. And Goheen traffic, November 297 Bravo, taking off runway 33 VFR to the northeast at 2,500 Goheen. Okay. Hey, Wolfpack Gamer, man, it has been a long time. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, man. I've been thinking about you. Last time we talked, you were having some laptop issues, and I'm praying that those were taken care of and you're back in business and life is good, man. Catch me up on things while I try to bounce this Beaver down the down the runway here. I do have, by the way, full stall kit. As you probably saw, I got the big fat tires, so it's going to be extra bouncy anyway. But yeah, we're gonna be a bouncy boy here, and that's all right. Okay, throttle forward. Takeoff power set. Dude out there fishing on his boat. And we're flying. Don't hit the tree. Little right hand turn. 030. Flaps can come up. There's a climb setting that you go to begin with. We pull the RPMs and the manifold pressure down. And yeah, we're aiming for, there's a little saddle kind of over here. I think that's Mount Hood. Could be wrong. we're kind of aiming for this little saddle right here. That'll get us out there to Walter Sutton's place. Okay, so we're closing in on 700. Ended up just getting a brand new one. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you know what? Your patience was rewarded, and at the end of the day, if you end up with an even better machine, I mean, heck, can't beat that. So I should be looking for plenty of streaming, live stream videos and things like that from you soon. Well, I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad things are going good, man. That's awesome. We're gonna leave the flap set at climb, just because, like I said, it's a very short first leg. Now, if the winds are out of the north, so just so you know, Walter Sutton has just a single strip. It's boy, east and west essentially. And so what I like to do, actually no, I'm sorry, the wind was 280. Oh, that was at Portland. It was yeah, it was out of the north, 333 at Goheen. So we don't need to get all the way up to 2,500. We're gonna kind of just climb up here around 1,500 or so for this first leg. But I'm gonna cross over the airfield, just because I always have a hard time just finding it, first of all. But I'm gonna cross over the airfield and enter a right-hand traffic pattern, just because also there is a little bit more room that way. It's a pretty challenging approach, honestly. You can, if you want to come at it and land to the east, you have to kind of deal with this little hillside here. And if you want to come in from the west, you have some terrain over here. But you can kind of get up, and you see this little flat area there. You can kind of get up in there, and there's room to sort of turn around and come back. And the airstrip, I think, is like right down in this area somewhere. In fact, we may even loop around this hill. I don't know. We'll just kind of see how we're feeling. We don't need to gain any more altitude. But yeah, the wind's going to be again about out of the north here, so really it's I mean, 330 would technically favor a west approach a little bit anyway, so that'll be nice. But I always have to find it first. It's never a guarantee, but I can find it right away. Hey, new phone, man! You're rolling in the new tech, man. What'd you get phone wise? I'm a Samsung guy myself. This is an Orbix scenery, so a couple giveaways. When you approach it, of course, you start to hear the barking dogs and the chirping birds and all that stuff, but you also get, especially this time of year, you get a little, somewhere there's a chimney that is pumping out smoke from a wood-burning stove. Ooh, iPhone XR. All right, very nice, very nice. So looking, I kind of think I see maybe right here. I got this little piece of the windshield in the way. Yeah, there's the little, might be hard to see, there's the wood-burning stove. Here's our runway. So I should check in here. Walter Sutton traffic, November 297 Bravo. We're crossing midfield at 1,400. We're going to enter right traffic pattern for west landing, Walter Sutton. Well, that was a mouthful. I don't know if I said that exactly right, but it's not a numbered airstrip, so I can't really say like runway 27. It's just going to land west. Let me see if I can get a good look. Yeah, see, there it is. Whoops. There it is. So we got to come around here, kind of negotiate this little hillside, but we can make a little turnaround and come in and so yeah, let me level off here. Walter Sutton, November 297 Bravo. We're on the right downwind for west approach, Walter Sutton. $64 gig. That ought to run plenty of X-Plane Mobile. All I'm saying, man, you can upgrade. You can get all 10 aircraft add-ons. All right, so we're under 100. I'm going to go ahead and add some more flaps and get my speed down. Like I said, this first leg really is a quick one, but it's worth it. If we're in this area, we might as well come up here and hit Sutton's place. And there it is behind us. Oh, we're kind of tight. It's going to be a rather short. Let me loop around here. This is not standard, but otherwise I may not have much of a base leg here. And really, I probably should have stayed a little higher to negotiate this ridge line as well, but if we kind of go around, we'll be okay. Oh, the mobile, X-Plane Mobile is coming out with an update, huh? That's pretty sweet. Kind of a fun game, I tell you what. Spent a little bit of time on it here, as you know. And Sutton traffic, November 297 Bravo. We're on the right base for the west runway, Sutton. Maybe that's all you say is west runway. It's going to be a short one. I kind of have to just keep it coming so I don't overshoot. Sutton traffic, November 297 Bravo. We're on the final west runway, Sutton. Yeah, that should be pretty close. I think those buildings right there in front of me are kind of what I need to look for. Let's level it off slightly here. Yep, I see it right there. Speed looks pretty good. We're at 1,000 feet, which is also pretty good. We're going to add another couple notches of flaps to landing. We do have a little bit of actually a couple different wires to negotiate. You can see the silver towers there, but there's also a set of lines that are closer to the field. They've got those little orange high-vis marking balls on them, so we can't get too low too quick here. It's a little bit of a steep approach once we get there, but so we'll get over the top of these wires here, and the next ones will come into view here in just a minute. And same thing on the other side. It's like they're running right down a road on both approaches, but you can see the other side has the hill. It's a little bit more with a bunch of trees. Okay, full flaps, and I don't know how well you can see it, but there's the little red balls. We're going to be well above that, which is good. We're going to clear the semi-tractor trailer and the road grader, and let's see how we do here. This is going to be bumpy no matter what. Alright, yeah. There we go. Alright, not terrible. Not bad at all, really, truly. And I think what we're going to do, since we're basically a crosswind anyway, is instead of taxiing all the way back down, I think we're just going to go to the end here, turn around, and make a VFR departure to the northeast. Okay, before we get too crazy, we'll set the takeoff, or the flaps for takeoff. Whatever this area is, it's kind of the simulates it being a little bit mucky and takes quite a bit of thrust to get out of it. But we'll just kind of come over here. See, there's what I'm talking about with those wires. And you can hear the birds chirping. Thought there were some dogs that barked in this one too. I could be thinking about a different one, but yeah, let's bring her around. Walter needs to come out and mow the grass on his airstrip. That's all I can say. It's getting a little bit long. Alright, let's get lined up here, bumping and banging and crashing. Alright, and let's make sure that we're ready to go. Our trim, let's get our trim zeroed out. And again, everything else is looking good. Lights and all that. Flaps are takeoff. Alright, so now we're up. We're going to turn. We're going to make left traffic here. We're going to get ourselves out. And here's where it gets kind of fun. I mean, that was fun. That's always a fun approach. But we're going to kind of come up here, hit one of these, where this long lake is, and we're going to follow water and kind of skirt by some different airfields on our way to the coast. Basically, it's this next leg here is going to be about a half an hour long leg, and so yeah, it should be fun. So, oh man, so Wolfpack is giving me some updates here. Same thing as the X-Plane 10 mobile, but better graphics. No in-game purchase. Ooh, okay, $6. All cockpits are interactable. Yeah, man, it was. I tell you what, I'm not much of a mobile game guy, but that was pretty dang cool. I would consider a purchase of that for sure. It was and visually just looked really amazing. Okay, so let's make our call and we'll get going. I have not heard anything from Portland Approach, which leads me to believe that perhaps I don't have it tuned in correctly, or I don't have something configured correctly, but we'll get going on this leg and we'll kind of mess around with it a little bit more. And Walter Sutton traffic, November 297 Bravo. We are ready for takeoff. Northeast departure. We're making left traffic, climbing to 2,500. Walter Sutton. That was a brutal check-in, but that ain't nothing compared to the bouncing and bumping that you're about to experience here. I think the Gophers must be working on his airstrip a little bit here as well. Yeah. Find out. There's a bounce. There's a bounce. There's a bump. And one more. Alright. Well, that's what the big Tundra tires are for. Get the airspeed up. Make our turn. And let's go find some water, ladies and gentlemen. See you later, Walter Sutton. Flaps to climb. Picking our way through the terrain here. Don't need to get too crazy. Making good power. We're going to start to pull things back just a little bit here. Alright, so there's the lake again. I think let's see, Yale Lake perhaps, and then what we want here is this lake right in front of us. This is called Lake Merwin, and that's going to be the little river that we follow down to the Columbia, and it's going to start to lead us where we need to go. I am going to go ahead and climb to 2,500 here. That's what I have filed, and so I want to make sure that Portland Approach that we're at the right altitude that we filed for Portland Approach, because he may have to vector some traffic. I hope not. I mean, I'm assuming not, but just in case, he knows that we're at the altitude that we filed in our flight plan. Let's see if we can see Walter Sutton's place from here. Yeah, just barely, just barely. Nice clear skies though. What a beautiful day. 1,700. Bring our flaps up. We're not really worrying too much about our heading at this point in time. We're just able to follow the river, and really for the next, you know, at least 20 minutes or so, we're going to be able to follow water, and then we'll pick up a road. And so, like I said, while I do have a basic plan, a VFR plan filed, it's more to let the controller know what we have planned as much as it is, I guess, for me to follow exactly. Because I don't, as you can see, I really don't have any kind of a glass cockpit that I can put any of that stuff in, and nor do I have any VORs to tune. It's just purely flying and enjoying things. Enjoying this beautiful Pacific Northwest. Wolfpack Gamer, what is the name of that? Is that Mount Hood over there? Or is that Mount Hood in the way back there? Maybe one of them's Rainier and one of them's Hood. I'm trying to look here to see. Oh, Spirit Lake. Is that Mount St. Helens then? I bet that's Mount St. Helens. I bet that's what that is. Alright, ooh, we went through 2,500. Let's level off here. Maybe descend even just a little bit. Get our speed managed. We're going to be in that probably 130-ish range today, I would imagine. Try to get it trimmed out. And here's what I'm going to do, just out of curiosity. I'm going to leave it on my current configuration and just see again. Somebody just departed, so I should be hearing him talking. This is he's going to Oakland, so at some point in time he's going to get cleared to departure. So if I don't hear them talking to this 737, then I'm going to assume that I've got something configured incorrectly. Either that or this plane really truly, this particular radio stack doesn't simulate more than one channel, which could very well be. And like always, I have not exactly done exhaustive research on this, so I'm sure that I'm going to be missing a thing or two, but eventually I get it figured out. I just ask enough people, and eventually somebody points me in the right direction. So Wolfpack Gamer is not the guy to take to the geography competition, I take it. I'm just looking at Sky Vector, and I think, based on, I'm seeing, what did I see up here? Spirit Lake. And Spirit Lake was the lake that was basically, covered up. Yeah, so Mount St. Helens, that's got to be, it was basically straight north. And then we had something well to the, yeah, Mount Rainier, I think, was the one. So I think my second guess was better. Mount St. Helens first in the foreground, and Mount Rainier in the background. You won't be able to see it now. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that answer now. We'll take, what is Mount St. Helens for 100, Alex? No. What is Mount St. Helens? I guess if I'm giving an answer, that's what you say. Yeah, you know, if you're gonna be flying around a little bit, Wolfpack, it might not be bad to, maybe get some flashcards or something. It may come in handy. Okay, well, I am not hearing anything, so there are two other, well, there's one other aircraft I see that's coming into the Portland area, so I think I'm going to do this. Let's just flip it over and let's see if we hear anything. Again, it's hard to tell, and maybe this is not, tonight's not the best night in this airspace. Maybe I need an airspace that's a little more active, but I want to be able to use it on, like on a Friday night ops. But before I do that, I want to kind of know what the heck I'm doing. And you know, every airplane is a little bit different, and this is something that I have just not, I mean, we've never had the opportunity to do this. And maybe V-pilot, maybe it doesn't, oh, you know what, maybe...
Southwest 1932, you leave my airspace, radar service terminator, frequency change approved. Have yourself a good flight to Oakland.
Southwest 1932, thank you, sir, for your services. Have a good day.
Alright, so when it is there in COM 1, I can hear it. Here's something else I'm noticing, though. It might be contributing to the problem. So COM 2, so this is the standby frequency, but it's not COM 2. I don't have a second COM. I don't have a second radio here. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to set COM 2 to 124.35. Okay, so now we've got that changed. So now I'm going to flip. I'm going to lose this if I'm going to flip this guy back over to 2280. All right, so now I have COM 1 is my Unicom frequency, and COM 2 is Portland approach. So let's just, we just lost our one chance to to hear them talking with Southwest 1932, but maybe, let's see, this United 1219 is coming into Portland, and they may be into the airspace before we are too far away. There's a limit to how far away you can hear the tower frequency. By the way, I am drifting a little bit here, but I'm looking for, there is an airport called Woodland State that I'm thinking we must be at least pretty close, because it's right, generally pick it up, it might be up here to our right hand, because we kind of turned a little bit early, but this is the Columbia River, and so we're on the right track. We just need to, we're going to start heading a little bit more south. I think 188 is the heading, or something close to that. But we want to try to pick up the Scappoose International. No, Scappoose Industrial. Alright, well I missed the Woodland State, but I did manage to find the Columbia River. So Lewis and Clark would be proud of me. Maybe not Orville and Wilbur, but at least one famous duo would be proud. I have also drifted down just a bit here below 2,000, which isn't good. Alright, I see some runway lights. I think that's my Scappoose Industrial. Let's climb ourselves back up. We are still responsible, by the way, for looking for traffic, but like we talked about before, not a lot going on right now. Maybe Albert Einstein and Sir Isaac Newton. Yeah? Well, we are using a lot of their principles. No doubt about it. Okay, once we get past Scappoose, we go over this hill and we look for the aptly named Hillsborough Airport, and then from Hillsborough we continue flying generally south to Sportsman's, and each one of these legs is about 15 miles. So it's kind of nice. You don't have to go too far here. Yeah. That's a good thing. Always a good thing. Be ahead of the game. Alright, there's roughly 2,500. And I'm going to go ahead and update my heading bug here, just in case I need it. Should see, might be a ways over there still, but kind of Portland International is over in this area here, so we should be well clear of the Charlie. And that was the whole point of this particular flight plan, was to just make sure we stayed well outside the boundaries. And I think we're going to successfully do that here. Fly over the top of Scapoosh yet? I think we might have. Alright, well, we'll start to turn. It's a little bit more, not quite straight south, but a little bit more south. Let's have a look outside. Pretty nice day out. It does look like we maybe are picking up a little bit of a haze layer out there. I don't know, that marine layer, how much that's going to affect where we're heading, but otherwise everything else is looking pretty nice. Again, just kind of trying to make a roughly 180 heading here. It's about a 15 nautical mile leg, and we should be able to see. Hillsboro's a little bit bigger. It's in fact, it's the only controlled airfield that we're going to intercept here. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know if Silas Bay is controlled or not. Nope, all uncontrolled. And so that's like I say, should be a little easier one for us to spot. I think it has 3 runways on it. So that's a great visual for us to shoot for. And you know, I do tend to aim for the airports, even though we do have, you know, all these little flags on a VFR chart. Those are all, you know, those are all things that are things that you look for as you're flying VFR. So like Aurora State, that airport is something that's marked as a VFR reference point, and you'll see those if you just look at any VFR chart. You'll see those all over the place. But the problem that I have is, and I could sure, this is a Vortec, I could sure tune that in, I guess, if I wanted to, but you know, you're not going to see the VOR station modeled on the ground, at least not in this. I don't know, maybe the True Earth stuff in X-Plane would have something like that, but you know, a lot of times there'll be, you know, like what we did a couple nights ago. You know, one of the transitions through the LA airspace was I don't even remember, one of the famous piers there on the beach. But you know, even though scenery is getting better and better and better as far as that goes, it's some of those things that are still, I mean, it's still tough to use those in your VFR planning because you don't always know if they're there. Well, I do see some runway lights, and so I think we've found Hillsboro, and then from Hillsboro we head actually a little bit further to the east, 165 roughly, and that takes us down to Sportsman's. And at Sportsman, sorry, not Sportsman's, but at Sportsman, that's when we're going to pick up our next water, our next river. So we're coming in here to Hillsboro. We're going to head down to Sportsman, and then you see this river here kind of winding its way. We're going to pick that up, and right in here you can see there's a split. And this little tributary here, this is the Yawmill River, and that's what we're going to be following as it weaves and winds its way past McMinnville, and it heads west. It empties out into the Pacific Ocean, and that's where we want to go. All right, Wolfpack, as always, thanks for checking in. Glad you're back in business. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday is my schedule, so if you have some time, stop in, say hi, and until I see you the next time, have a great rest of your week. Yep, this is definitely Hillsboro, and I don't honestly know. I think you probably should make a call, right? Something to the effect of Hillsboro traffic, November 297 Bravo, transitioning through your airspace at 2,800 Hillsboro. Ooh, next 2 days off. Very nice. Little fall break or something, or what? Or are you just playing hooky and I need to call your principal right now? We'll be at 165 here in just a minute. Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, hopefully you'll have some good reports from your teachers, and yeah, that can be a fun night, but it can also be a stressful night. Good luck. Tell me how it went next time I see you, man. Alright, so in the meantime, my tests of the audio system here, this guy should be getting pretty close to where he's supposed to be checking in. So, and I'm in pretty good, I'm definitely still within range of the approach. Take care, Wolfpack. God bless, man. Get ourselves turned roughly 165. We'll chase our way down to Sportsman, and yeah, I think we just have, oh, it's gonna be tough to see with the glare. Yeah, so there's, right there is Portland International. So yeah, we're still within, unless we're too low, I guess, maybe altitude wise, I don't know, or maybe the terrain could be interrupting. I'm trying to make every excuse in the world, when really probably the issue is the fact that just don't have it tuned in or don't have it configured correctly. But I do have one more way I can check this. If this doesn't work, I could tune in. I wonder if I could pick up. I went COM2. Let's all right, hold on for a second. Hate to do this, but if I'm going to be horsing around here, I'm going to do this. We're going to set that. We're going to go altitude. Yeah, we're going to. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Let's see if this works. I am picking up. I'm within range of Portland ATIS. So what if I do COM2 128.35? I should start to hear that ATIS if I'm receiving. Yep, I'm just not. So I have something here not right. Because when I go over here, I'll wait for approach to start talking again. And then are we set here? Are we at altitude? I actually might. I think I'm okay right now. Let's turn that back here. COM2 124.35. Okay, so we have both of them set on. Okay, I have both of them set on vPilot. Maybe if I can pull this over and show you. I have both of them set on vPilot, and they both are receiving. This is the only one I'm transmitting on. Push my. Oh boy. That was me. I hit that and
297 Bravo, you calling Portland approach.
yeah, my mistake on that 297 Bravo.
No problem.
Yeah, we picked that up here.
Just remain clear of the Class Charlie airspace. We get about 4 or 5 airplanes coming in.
Roger, 907 Bravo. Just explain what I'm doing here, just so he knows. Well, so I am receiving on both, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this back. And one of the other cool things about this new audio for VATSIM is that you can, you know, sometimes when you're not, or when you watch the real pilots, instead of replying, they'll just click the transmit button, give 2 clicks, and that's kind of, you know, it kind of is the same thing as saying, you know, understood or Wilco. Just a quick way of doing that. You can do that now, which is why he picked up on me. Alright, so we are clear of the. Did you say Bravo? I thought Portland was class. I thought they were Charlie. Maybe not. Maybe yeah, Portland class Charlie. Is there a? Alright, we're outside of that, so we're just past Hillsborough. We're heading down to Sportsman, so we're in no danger of being in the way. But in the meantime, doggone it, if I'm just not getting. Here's a guy coming into Portland. He should be talking to him here in just a little bit. I'm not picking him up, even though I have Portland approach tuned in there. I have COM 1 and 2 turned on.
510 Charlie Mike, Portland approach.
Yes. Yes. So that is working as intended. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And to make matters even better, here's our river. We're going to turn on and should have sportsmen coming. I may be flying over the top of it.
Approach Portland altimeter 3041, cross crater at or above 11,000, and then descend via the crater.
Sweet.
Arrival for runway 28 right. Roger. 41 on the altimeter will cross crater at 1,000 or below and expect 28 right for 0 to the mic.
That is so.
For 28 right.
That is so cool.
Roger, expect the visual 0 to the mic.
All right, that just made my night. That just takes the immersion factor and kicks it up through the roof. Because now the implications are huge. I mean, you're just one step closer to doing things the way real pilots do. And real pilots are monitoring multiple frequencies all the time. So the key, I think, is I need to make sure in this plane, since I only have an active and a standby frequency here, I have to I have to actually type in manually that that I want to tune in whatever I want. So like if I want approach, that's what I have in now. If I want to monitor center, I'm going to have to manually put that in since I don't have a radio over here that does that. Now a lot of these will have, you know, COM 1 and COM 2, nav 1 and nav 2. This one just happens to not have that. Well, I say that's not quite correct. This does have COM 1 and COM 2. Oh, hold on for a second. There's my river. I need to turn. Let me turn first here, and then we'll keep messing around with the radios. So I have COM 1 and COM 2, but what it's telling me here, that doesn't really, unless I flip this over to COM 2, no, that doesn't change my COM 1. Alright, I thought maybe if I changed it to COM 2, it would allow me to put two different frequencies in here and they would just be displayed as I toggled back and forth between my COM frequencies. I might have to look at that a little bit more with it just being, like I say, the single radio. When I show you Sportsman, by the way, this is kind of a cool little P3D. It's a default, there it is. It's a default airstrip, but it's tucked into this little town, and it's got some of that, you know, that traffic flow and people flow and static traffic, and it looks pretty dang cool. I need to hit that one of these different trips, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that. All right, so in the meantime, we are, and there's our little tributary we have to follow. And I'm locked into autopilot here just for a little bit, folks. Again, I want to, while I know I have traffic coming in and going out, I just want to see if there's some way. So this is the only thing I'm missing on this plane right now, because I have no way to tune COM 2 into this frequency on this particular radio panel. I'm just trying to mess around with that a little bit here. This, by the way, is what we're looking for. This is the McMinnville Airport. And should have our little river. Actually, our little river's down here, so we turned maybe just a hair too soon. That's okay. Maybe this is Lafayette. No, this is McMinnville, because there's the town of McMinnville right here as well. So this airport, though, it kind of points us in the right direction as far as intercepting. you can kind of see this little row of greenery. That's tracking that river, and then it just sort of snakes its way down this way here. So we're on the right track. But again, with any luck, we're going to pick up maybe a couple of more. Guys flying in and out of Portland. But we do have confirmation it does work, which is a great thing. I'm a little curious as though to why we weren't able to pick up the ATIS. That's kind of a head scratcher there. Not too sure. Okay, so McMinnville.
And 510 Charlie Mike, are you on the arrival?
Yeah, we're on the Cater 2. Our SMS overshot a little bit, so we're coming back onto the approach path for 0 Charlie Mike.
No worries, if you need it, I'll give you vectors. It's not that busy.
Alright, so there's our little
You follow it until I believe it's Shine.
Yawmill Creek.
Vectors for 0 Charlie Mike.
Fine, thank you.
Yawmill River, I guess. And yeah, from here we're looking at like another 35, 40 miles is all. It's about I'd say 35-ish to the coast. Although we do zig and zag, and we kind of wind our way through these. You can see this. There's terrain up here. We wind our way through that terrain, and then once we get to the ocean, then we hang a left and we head south down the coastline into Silet's Bay. Now, as long as I've got it on autopilot, we better have a look outside. That's not a bad looking airfield either, really truly. And that's kind of one of the nice things about the Pacific Northwest mesh is that it upgrades all the default airports, and it just helps them blend in just a little bit better to the surrounding areas. Alright, so there goes the autopilot. Prepare for us to bob and weave and lose and gain altitude and all that fun stuff, but that's okay. This plane is just too fun to hand fly.
10 Charlie Mike, descend and maintain 3,000.
Descend at 3,000 for 0 Charlie Mike.
So we eventually, the river's kind of heading to our left a little bit, don't worry, it comes back, and then we eventually kind of head over. You can see a little bit of a low spot over here. That's where we're going to be heading, and you can go way up to the north here, and you can actually come out by Pacific City, or you can try to weave your way actually through this terrain here, and you can come out at Lincoln City. That's the route we're going to take. It's a little more challenging, and I think a little more fun, to be honest with you. Then we just, like I say, it's a short turn to the south, and we're into Silence Bay. By the way, World Series, who you got? Currently 2-2 in the third inning, game 2, and also NBA. It's the opening week. There were some games last night, and then that's the reason. Part of the reason why I wanted to come up here is because the Denver Nuggets team I like to follow.
Charlie Mike, turn right, heading 190, slow to 210 knots, please.
190 and down to 210 for 0 Charlie Mike.
They play in Portland tonight, so that's why I thought it'd be kind of fun to come up here. But that game's not on quite yet. I'll keep you updated. I know that's why you tune in. Right now it's Philly and Boston. Looks like they are Philly's up 52-48 in the third, and Joel Embiid is bleeding. Wouldn't be an NBA East matchup without a little blood. Alright, so you can see the river is coming back in, and we actually are gonna pick up this road here, or this could potentially be, there's a railroad track that runs through here also, and this is actually more of what we follow from here on out, even though...
Yes, sir, 510 Charlie Mike, turn right to a heading of 250, please.
Right to 250, 0 Charlie Mike.
So even though this river still kind of goes our way for quite a while, at one point here it breaks off and goes north. That's what takes you out there to Pacific City, and then it also spins around to the south and kind of winds its way down here. So we pick up, you can see there's a railroad track as well as a road, and that's what's going to lead us through the terrain there into London City. Oh, I've dropped a little altitude here, folks. Oh no, I'm still, what am I? I'm 2,700, so I'm still in good shape. I can stand to lose a little bit more.
Charlie Mike, the field's at your 12 o'clock.
I'm getting a little low, by the way, on fuel tank.
We got the field side, 0 Charlie Mike.
Number 1 near the rear tank. I'll wait till I get my warning lights. I'll let that sucker run as dry as we can.
I got it 28 right for 510 Charlie Mike.
Sorry, say again for 5 Charlie Mike.
You clear the visual, 28 right, 510 Charlie Mike.
Roger, we're cleared for the visual, 28 right for 0 Charlie Mike, thanks.
510 Charlie Mike, contact the tower now, 123.77.
12377, 0 Charlie Mike, thanks.
And that's a small thing, but man, that's awesome. That is way, way cool. I told you I was going to let it run down to the bare minimum, didn't I? I jumped outside for the cinematic view a little too soon. Alright, we're on the middle tank now. We should be good to go. No harm, no foul. I just, there were some dudes back here kind of nodding off. I wanted to make sure they were woke up. Okay, well, it woke me up if nothing else. So now we are, again, we're following this road, and it's going to take us kind of up into the high country here. And it looks pretty gnarly, but we can actually pick our way through without too much difficulty, and we don't really have to gain altitude either. It's kind of nice, but man, this is some pretty amazing coastal mountain terrain. Some of it is I mean, well over 3,000. I think the MSE part of this is 4,400. So if we wanted to go over the top of it, wouldn't be out of the question. I mean, that's not hard for this plane to climb that high, but much more fun if we can sort of weave our way through things. So we'll stay on this road. We're heading almost due west right now. And as you can see, this little area here, not quite as daunting as what we have off our left-hand wing. So you can see, like I said, this is much more doable.
Portland approach, American 1545, good evening. With you at 15,000.
American 1545, Portland approach, Portland altimeter 3040. Information Bravo's cart. Just squawk ident for me so we can do this legally. And I can get you on the scope.
Yeah. Okay, there's your flash, American 1545.
American 1545 radar contact, 7 miles northwest to Helens intersection. Cross Helens at or above 11,000. And then you can descend via the crater arrival for runway 28 left.
You said Helens at or below 11,000?
At or above 11,000.
Okay, on I'm sorry, say again for American 1545.
Cross Helens, at or above 11,000 feet.
Oh, okay. Cross Helens at or above 11,000, American 1545.
Okay, here we go. We're making our turn kind of into the terrain just a little bit, and should be enjoyable. Like I said, I don't remember that we have to climb a whole heck of a lot. If we do, I'll nudge it up there slightly, but I think we should be pretty good here at 2,500.
Portland approach, American 1545. If you gave me the expected runway already, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Can we get the expected?
Yep, you can expect the visual for runway 28 left.
Expect visual 28 left, American 1545, thank you.
I am curious to see how much longer we're going to receive Portland approach. His signal still sounds pretty strong, but that airline that checked in, you could tell a little bit more faint. So I'm just curious to see if we'll be able to hear the conversations as we get closer to the coast here. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Alaska 1400, copy that.
That's the Pacific Ocean right there. That's London City. And that's our next VFR waypoint, essentially. I think there's a helipad or something here in the
Yeah, Alaska 1400.
London City area,
talk, you'll listen and type. So, cross crater at or above 11,000 altimeter in Portland, 3040.
But the important thing here is that this marks a 7-mile final, essentially, into Silence Bay, so we can kind of start talking to those folks down there on the ground. Just as soon as we start heading that direction. Now, Silence Bay It is a north-south configuration. Yeah, 17 and 35. So we probably need to just have a quick look at the weather. Let's see what we have here right now where we're at. Oh, what happened? What did I do? Oh boy, I minimized something. Holy cow, what the? That was some weird, wacky stuff. Alright, straight and level, please. So the surface winds right now is 050. Should be fairly consistent as we head down the coast. So for us, we need to kind of think a little bit about that then. So 050 is doesn't really favors a slightly north approach, I guess. So I suppose we will enter a and this is a, by the way, this is a right-hand pattern. So we'll fly down here. We'll enter right-hand traffic, come right base, turn final, and land on runway 35. Gives us a little bit more time, I guess, to get everything configured and lined up and speed right and all that good stuff. So that's a good thing. It's just right past this little beachhead here.
Alaska 316.
We're going to go ahead and start losing some speed and some altitude. Put ourselves on the downwind right now, basically. Silas Bay traffic, November 297 Bravo. We are 6 miles from your airfield at 1,700 inbound runway 35, Silas Bay.
Cross Helens at or above 11,000. Altimeter is 3040.
Alright, let me tell you what's cool about what just happened right there. I was transmitting. I saw the little blue light come on my V-pilot, so I definitely was transmitting to Unicom.
American 1545, need you on.
At the same time, you heard, I'm sure,
28. So why don't you fly heading
Portland
let's call it 120.
approach transmitting with traffic back and forth, and so that
yeah, if you're making the arrival for runway 28, you can make
that means
right
that's
turn, left turn at,
set up and working correctly. It's too bad I don't have somebody on the ground here at Silas Bay. The only guy flying in there, though. Darn it. So there it is. You can see it kind of the cutout. That's where we're heading. And for us to be, I think, pattern altitude I'm at it right now. Excuse me, right now, 1100.
You're actually not in my airspace right now, so, but 28, we're landing the 28s, okay?
So we're going to just take it out here. We're essentially on the right downwind. We will fly that right-hand traffic pattern and we'll set her down at a really neat little airport. I really like this airport. Silas Bay traffic, November 297 Bravo. We're on the right downwind, runway 35, Silas Bay. Let's get ourselves into flap speed range. We are awfully close. It's going to be a definitely a tight turn to final here, but don't need to lose any more altitude. Alright, put a couple notches of flaps in here. Let's get our speed down 80-ish. Just make sure we are actually on the outbound here. Sorry, the downwind, I should say. Don't want to get too close to these mountains. It's funny that it's a... Oh, it's a right-hand pattern to runway 17. Ah, shoot. So I'm actually backwards here. Crud. I should be left downwind to runway 35. Well, that would make sense because there's all this terrain. I was wondering about that. Alright, well, sorry if you're on the ground there, Silence Bay. I'm making this approach a lot more difficult than it needs to be. How to turn a simple approach into a challenging approach. Coming up next. I think we'll still be okay. Make this turn here. Yeah. Silence Bay traffic, November 297 Bravo, turning right base runway 35 Silence Bay. Alright, there we go. And I'm thinking we're going to have to go straight to final. Silence Bay traffic, November 297 Bravo, turning final, runway 35, Silence Bay.
American 1545 is going to maintain 3000.
See how close we are on the rollout here. Yeah, we were a little soon, a little quick on that, but we're in the neighborhood, so. Alright, we'll go flaps to landing.
Oscar 316, you expect the fixes for the visual for runway.
We'll just say we flew that pattern for noise abatement. Alright, down we go, there we go. IC-35. Full flaps. Power coming back. Landing lights on. Prop and mixture full forward.
Approach left at 31 signals. If possible, be at 28 left.
You can expect that 28 left with the last frequency.
Okay, expect 28 left. Left at 31 signals.
Straighten her out a little bit. Alright. Welcome to Silence Bay. Clean up the flaps. Don't need the landing light. Here comes our exit, which takes us actually right into the parking lot. So this is kind of, it worked out pretty well to have a little bit of a north approach. Every time I've flown into this airport before, which is only, I think this is my 4th flight in here, it's always been an approach to the south, so this is kind of nice. Silence Bay, November 297 Bravo, we're clear of the active, taxi to parking, Silence. Alright. Don't need to slow down quite so much. What does that sign say? Fly friendly. Gives you the CTAF there, 2270. That's kind of cool. Excuse me, guys. Has some dudes hanging out. All right, we'll park over. There we go. There's the spot. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. So let's, I think that's worth a replay. Let's just take a look and see what it looks like. Alright, so there we go. I'll do it this way. There's some dudes sitting on the bench watching the landing, so it's kind of fun to watch that. Fighting a little bit of a crab, but not too bad, honestly. Flared a little early. Yeah, no bounce even. The tail bounced a little bit, but that's not too bad. I did slide to the left ever so slightly. But all in all, that was not half bad, my friends. I think we need some outro music for that. Let me tell you what we've got coming up on the stream later on. It's actually going to be next week, unfortunately, but because on Saturday I'll be traveling and seeing some family, and so yeah, it'll be a day off for me. Good luck to everybody who's crossing the pond. Have fun. Can't wait to see the streams and hear the stories on that fun event. Maybe one of these years I'll be brave enough to attempt that. Actually, not being brave really for me, it's just finding a day where I have 8 hours that I can stream and or fly even. But oh yeah, so Downwind Sim checking in just at the right time. Yeah, just in time for the outro, man. So next week, then, that's kind of when we get things rolling again. On Monday, I was going to fly with our buddy Slant Alpha as he continues his Barron 58 Lower 48 state tour. He was going to be getting into South Dakota, which is getting pretty darn close to where I live, and so I was going to follow him, but he had to postpone that a little bit. So we're going to not fly with him on Monday. We're going to plan something different. I don't know exactly what that will be just yet, but we are going to plan that. Then on Wednesday, I'm going to actually hop across. I'm not crossing the pond, but we're going to go ahead and be across the pond. We're going to be in Switzerland, and I'm going to fly from Sonnen to Innsbruck in the King Air 200. That should be a lot of fun. It's been a while since I've been both in Europe and in the King Air, so that'll be a good time. And then it's November. I mean, and I do plan on having more of a focus in November on the vintage aircraft, and I've been saying that for a while, but that'll be the month for us to hop back in the L1011. I do have another historic route I'd like to do, maybe two, because I do have Thanksgiving break coming and a little bit of extra time to spend perhaps on the sim. And man, it's been a long time since I've been in the DC-8, and so I'd like to do a couple of flights with both of those planes in the month of November. So anyway, look for that coming up. But for me, it'll be next Monday and Wednesday. Monday to be determined, Wednesday over in Switzerland, and I hope you're able to join us. Downwind, I'll talk to you here in just a second. Thanks for checking in late. Wolfpack Gamer, thank you very much for popping in as well. And until next time, we'll be looking for you on the TCAS. Everybody have a great night. Take care. God bless.